Hi and welcome to the next episode of Qt QML tutorial. In the previous episode, you learned how to access single C++ object from QML side. It's useful, especially if you want to keep more of the logic on C++ side and only occasionally to access them from QML. But let's say that you want to instantiate your C++ objects directly in QML. Well, that's exactly what we are going to do today. In this episode, we will register C++ class as QML type. My name is Lukas Kosiński. I am the CEO of SciStudio, Qt QML consulting company. We help our customers achieve their objectives by providing them with skilled Qt developers. Both mentioned ways of integrating C++ and QML are important and worth learning. But what's the difference? Let's find out. The way instances of C++ code are produced and utilized in QML is the main difference between exposing C++ objects and registering C++ classes. Exposing C++ objects is appropriate when you wish to give QML access to C++ objects. To C++ objects that you already have instances of them in your C++ code. And the QML engine allows also to register class as the QML type and then to generate instances of this new type in QML. When you wish to immediately create instances of the C++ class from your QML code, registering classes as QML types might be your way to go. After you register a class, you may use it on QML side just like any other item like image or rectangle or item. So the benefit of registering as QML type is that you may use C++ capabilities directly in QML. It encourages code reuse, offers better performance, allows interaction with your C++ libraries, and it gives access to signals and slots and attributes of C++ classes from QML. If you expose C++ object to QML, then you need to instantiate each object every time. And you do that every time on C++ side, and then you need to manually expose them using QML register singleton instance function or some other way. Yeah, and then you can use it in QML. But using registering, you can create your own items easier. You can do that just from QML. So how to do that? We will use our all good friend Qt add QML module command. This time we add both header and source files to the sources section of this command. And after that, there is no need to additionally add them to add executable call. So how does this registration looks like? Well, it depends strongly on what you want to achieve. There are several different macros allowing C++ and QML class integration. There's QML anonymous, QML interface, uncreatable, element, and QML named element. However, we will now focus only on two, the most used ones, QML element and QML uncreatable. Let's say that you want to create an item that would utilize some native methods like OpenGL for rendering 3D stuff. It would be perfect to embed such a type directly within your QML scene. There also might be a case that you just want to register class to provide some specific data for a particular case, or you just want such a class to be only recognizable by the QML. This is when QML element comes in hand. So to do that, to register your class as QML element, you need to add a QML element macro to the class definition. And then in CMake you need to put class sources in the sources section of Qt QML module. Yeah, and after that you are good to go. After you do that, you can freely use your own type, directly in QML. This element lives then directly in the QML hierarchy, allowing all other objects to access its properties, directly by ID. You can also access all enums and static properties, and you can also pass it as argument in methods. And additionally, if you use a Qt item as a base for your class, then you could also position it and nest other children inside, other items inside. Because Qt item is de facto an item object, the visual one. So yeah, it has its benefits. But what if you want to expose only some crucial properties from given class? Like for example, enum values, or maybe you want to pass a pointer to your Q object as a Q property. To make QML aware of such a type and avoid runtime issues, errors, it's going to be enough, it's going to be sufficient to add a QML uncreatable macro. The steps are almost the same as for creatable type. We define it as QML element, we add it to module sources, and additionally we add QML uncreatable macro in class header. In brackets, we also define a message which is displayed when the user tries to instantiate this type in QML. Yeah. And after you do that, you are good to go. We cannot create any instances of this type directly, but you can freely access static properties attached to exposed class. Okay, let's start some coding. We'll continue a creation of our pure Spotify-like application. All the files are on GitHub. Check description for the link. We'll move most of the properties of audio info box to the backend, and we'll provide more information about the song, such as a path to the file, the media file, source for image, title, and author. We'll not only create new audio info class, but also extend missing functionality of existing player controller to actually play the audio using source as an argument. To do so, we'll use a Q media player class from Q multimedia module. Yeah, so let's go. To make everything quicker, I already prepared some audio files and audio info C++ class with ready properties. You should know how to do that at this point, and if not, come back to previous episodes. Let's now register this class. First, we need to add class files to our QML module in CMake. In CMake now instead of adding them, the class files directly to executable, to the target, we add them in Qt add QML module command after sources keyword. Quick save and we are good to go. As I said previously, I already prepared needed Q properties and their fields and functions. Now let's make this type creatable in QML, and to do so we need to use QML element macro in our class. As you can see, it's not recognized at first, so we need to add one missing header, Qt QML.h, and that would be it. Let's go to our QML audio info box item. If you want to use such NO type, you need to firstly import modules URI, which is in our case just song player. Let's check it. Yeah, it's song player. Yeah, and now we are free to use our register type. We can use it both as a child object, but also as a type for the property. So as audio info keeps all the info about particular song, let's replace those properties with one of audio info type. Okay, it's not recognized, so let's do a trick with resetting code model, tools, QML.js, reset code model. Okay, those properties are already present in C++ side, so that's why we could do that. Now we need to update dependent types to actually base on C++ properties. So instead of root, we will now reference to info provider. Like this. So image source should point to info provider. Image source video the same. Text should be changed as well. And here. Now we need to go to a main QML file and update how properties are set. Yeah, as you can see, Qt Creator already complains about that. That's because those properties are no longer a part of audio info box, right? Now they are part of info provider property that has type audio info. So instead, we can use a grouped property like this, and you can put it in brackets. And yeah, let's do the same for the rest of the songs. Notice that you can reformat your QML file by selecting everything with Ctrl A and hitting Ctrl I combination. Yeah, that's another trick from me. And now if we run the app, it should work exactly like it used to work before. Okay, we got normal and functional player as we had before. Now let's make those songs actually playable. We need firstly to give audio info class a property which would hold a source to the particular song. So in class header, here we define another Q property of QRL type named audio source. Now let's add missing things using our shortcut. Let's make it required, as every audio should contain its source. And now we go back to the QML side and give our audio info boxes appropriate sources. Just like in the case of the video, we have to provide full QRC path with modules URI and then relative path to our resource. Yeah, and we do the same for rest of the songs. Okay, now we can modify a player controller class to actually be able to play songs. To do so, we will create an instance of QMedia player in player controller class. Let's make it a member. Let's not forget about the header. We need to include QMedia player because otherwise it's not going to be recognized. And next we need to add methods to play from a given source. Let's name it change audio source and give it a parameter const QRL source. Now let's define that method in the source file. Let's give it a body. Firstly, we need to, first thing would be to stop media player if it's currently playing. Then we will set media source of Q media player to the one from the parameter. And finally, if our internal playing state is true, then we can play our audio from here. Actually, Q media player has own playback state property, but we are just learning, right? Yeah, and next, yeah, that will be it. Next, we need to modify play pause method to actually play and pause media player. We can do that using simple play and pause methods from Q media player. Now from QML, we need to somehow change the source whenever audio is switched. Let's go to audio info box and take a look at unvisible change slot here. Currently, we control which song is currently, which audio info box is currently visible, depending on the currently played index. This is not a perfect approach, but for the sake of the example, let's keep it this way. So our audio info box becomes visible. And in such case, we should change audio source of player controller, the current audio source. And next we have to add a component onCompleted slot. This slot is invoked in time of items creation, so we will update source if current song index matches given object at time of creation. This is because otherwise source will remain empty when we initially open the app, even though a song is selected. So let's put it here. Yeah, and now let's build and test. Okay. I'm playing, pausing. It seems there is no sound. Why? Well, that's because we need to set sound output to our Q media player instance. To do so, let's go back to player controller. We need to add appropriate headers. So it's going to be Q media devices, Q audio info, Q audio device and audio output. Next, we will get a list of Q media devices audio outputs, and we'll keep it as a list. Like this. Then we need to check if there is actually any audio output available. We need just to check if the list is not empty. And if it's not, we can set dynamically created Q audio output instance for our media player. Media player will be a parent for such a dynamically created audio output, just to avoid memory leak. Okay, now it should work. Let's check it. Yeah, as you can hear, our songs are played and paused as we click the play pause button, and we can also change them still. Yeah, so it looks like Spotify has a new competitor, right? Okay, and that would be it for this episode. You learned the very basics of integrating C++ and QML. Now you know not only how to expose single C++ object to QML, but also how to register a C++ class as QML type. Of course, there are many other more advanced ways to expose C++ to QML to make QML and C++ talking, but I'm pretty confident that it's enough for you to start. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, leave me a comment, let me know how you like the episode and the entire series. Follow us on LinkedIn and check Qt Talk. Qt Talk is our podcast-like format in which we talk about various software development topics, in particular about Qt, embedded development, C++, and things like that. In the next episode, we will talk about crucial model view system feature concept in Qt and why it is a good practice to use it. See you there.